Alright, well, here we are in line for the Angry Video Game Nerd movie premiere. Are you excited?
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite episode?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know, probably the Sword Quest episode.
Sword Quest?
Sword Quest!
Sword Quest?
Definitely Sword Quest. It's a tie between Big Rigs and Desert Boss.
Yeah. What's your favorite episode?
All of them.
Bugs Bunny?
Crazy Castle Man.
Back to the Future. Super Mario Brothers. Top Gun.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Spider-Man? Ninja Turtles?
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy? They keep kind of say Dick Tracy, Dick Tracy, Dick this and Dick that. Can't they just say Richard Tracy?
It's either Rob or Action 52. Which Gremlin?
Roger Rabbit.
I like the Action 52. Bill and Ted.
You say Dr. Jekyll?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde Revisited.
Yes.
Hello, Crocodile. What's your favorite episode?
Whoa, did you see the C word? This is not a crocodile, this is an alligator.
How do you know he's not a caiman? Or a gharial?
Because he identifies as an alligator.
Oh, okay. Is he a cisgendered alligator?
Yeah.
Okay, alligator, what's your favorite nerd episode?
I'd have to say, Bugs Bunny's birthday blowout.
More like Bugs Bunny's birthday beating.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
The old one or the new one?
Both of them.
Both of them?
Probably Mylon Secret Castle.
Mylon Secret Castle?
That's shitty asshole.
You want to know my favorite episode?
I actually did a rebuttal of that episode on my channel.
Did you really? What's your channel?
Dragon Slayer Prod, Dragon Slayer Productions.
I'll look you up.
What do you do?
I do a show called Video Game Bunker.
Oh.
It's set in the post-apocalyptic aftermath of the console wars.
Oh.
So the console wars have destroyed the world, and a lone survivor is reviewing video games from his bunker.
Oh, I've seen your show.
You have?
Yeah, I'm like one of the 4 people. That sounds very familiar. I think I'm one of your 4 subscribers.
No,
I'm kidding. You're
I have almost 1,500, but nowhere near.
I've definitely seen one of your videos before.
Really? Which one?
I don't remember, but the whole concept of the bunker, that sounds very familiar to me.
Turns out the premiere has been canceled. All ticket holders will be given an extra hour in the ball pit.
Yes.
We waited so damn long out there in the sun.
So there. I'm so ready.
And by the time we're going in, the sun's finally setting. Way to take your damn time.
Hey, that's just Murphy paying us a visit, man.
You're on the wrong place. Guardians of the Galaxy is right down the street. Oh, wait a minute. You're on here to see the AVGN movie, huh?
Yeah!
Are you ready to finally see this fucking movie? Yeah! Pretty pumped! Wow, Hollywood premiere. I never thought it would become this big. And I can't think of any place that's more historically significant than the Egyptian Theater here. This is where the first Hollywood premiere happened. Robin Hood and 20. Return to the Jedi premiere here. And now tonight we're adding to the list Angry Video Game Nerd movie. We're in Hollywood, but this is not a major Hollywood studio, multi multi-million-dollar production. This is just three normal guys who were friends in high school who had a dream and said, hey, let's make a movie. And all these years later, here we are. So let's watch this thing.
Okay, so it's been about 12 hours since the movie ended, and I finally had the chance to put together my thoughts on it. The AVGN movie was amazing. It absolutely lived up to the hype, but there are a couple of caveats with this. The real key is that you have to see this movie with fans. If you're just watching this movie alone, it won't have the impact that it will. The care and attention that was put into this and making references to old AVGN episodes, as well as the internet and reviewing at large, is amazing, because the movie itself, it makes a lot of references to these things, but it also talks about the gamer community, where the fact that these games are so horrible is drawing a lot of people to them. I've actually bought games like Daikatana and Duke Nukem Forever because I know they're bad, mostly because I want to review them, but then there are people that will buy them just to play them and share them with friends, and because it sucks and they want to laugh at it. And the movie actually capitalizes on that, and it makes that part of the plot point, that this company is... I'm going to be getting into a bit of minor spoilers here, but I'm sure other people will as well, but it's not too much. You could probably glean this much from the trailers, but the plot of the movie is that this company wants to make a sequel to E.T. and they intend to make it worse, even worse than the original. But I mean, honestly, from the footage they show in the movie, it doesn't even seem that bad. But the key to this is that it's deliberately bad because they know that they can cut costs and make a deliberately bad game because people will buy it because it's bad. So it's kind of marking this whole shift in how they're making games, where they're making games just to be assholes and make these horrible games deliberately. So it's almost apropos that it is kind of happening now. I mean, people don't strive to make bad games, but it sets up this world where, what if they did try to strive to make bad games? What would that mean for gamers? Honestly, I don't think the gamers would fall for it that long. I think the gamers deserve a bit more credit than that, but the effects in the movie are deliberately campy. They used a lot of miniatures, but the way they did it was so great was the fact that they had the music and special effects, not really explosions or anything, they have those, but the fact that the music and sound effects were so well done that it kind of fools your eyes, and it makes these effects seem much more effective than they would have been otherwise. Because you could tell that it's just a little model going over the edge. We got like Thunderbirds flashbacks when they showing like the missiles shooting off or the airplanes exploding. It's all done with miniatures, and it's just so lovely and campy in that sense. So I really did like this movie. It was so much fun. A lot of people are asking about the cameos. The cameos were so great. Every time one of the cameos came on screen, the entire audience just erupted. And you had Mike Matei, Kyle Justin, they were together. So Mike is in the movie. It's a very minor part. He doesn't have any words. Doug Walker is in it, but he isn't in it as the nostalgia critic. He's just kind of playing as himself. I think he's just wearing the hat and the red shirt. But he's seen playing E.T. Lloyd Kaufman is in it. Pat Contry, Pat the NES Punk, actually has a fairly major role where when they're at the Atari landfill trying to get in, he's almost always in the foreground of the shot wearing his green video game t-shirt. So I don't know what he did to work that out, but he got lucky that he was constantly in the foreground of every shot, and I'm sure that was delivered on his part or James's part. Nathan Barnett is in it. Keith Apicary, he has a slightly larger role. He gets electrocuted on an electric fence. That's funny. So yeah, if you do see this movie, if you can't see it in theaters, I do recommend you do try to see it if it's touring anywhere near you, because it's absolutely worth the money if you can get tickets. But if you have to wait for the DVD, that's fine if you have to wait for the DVD or the Blu-ray, but the first time you see it, I highly recommend you get as many of your friends that love AVGN and the movies and all the internet reviews that go with the glasses. Spoonie's not in it. I kind of wish he was, but and see it with them your first time, because it's not going to be able to top it if you're just watching it alone. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. There's a couple, and now getting into a bit more about the movie itself. Other than the acting is fairly good across the board. I don't really have any complaints, but honestly, the only one who's really all that bad is James himself. He's not terrible, but he does have this stiffness to him that I'm sure was just part of him not being used to acting around so many other people, because he's usually used as a director, but I mean, with the AVGN movie, he kind of has to be in it to play the AVGN. So, across the board, the acting's no problems at all. There's a big secret about the E.T. game, and I don't want to give away what that secret is, because honestly, I thought it was really, really clever. I thought it was really smart and original. I'd never heard that use of it before. Because, yeah, and you can tell that it has something to do with Area 51 and E.T. and the aliens, so it does kind of tie together really nicely. It's a very organic connection to make. And it almost reminds me of something like Super 8, where I have to find the secret about the aliens and everything. So, beyond that, I don't want to give anything else away. But a weird thing that they had to do was they don't show any actual gameplay footage in the movie. They show plenty of games, but the funny thing is they're all kind of like really crappy 8-bit, 4-bit, like Atari NES stuff. They have one that's like newer 3D, which is the ET2. But the idea, I'm sure that it was a legal issue. In fact, they went into this at the Q&A afterward, that they had to clear all the footage. That they were able to clear a lot of Atari stuff so they could use similar sprites but not actual gameplay footage. So all of it is just kind of animated. I'm sure it was animated in like Flash or Final Cut or something, where they just kind of have the sprites moving around and animated. It looks very nice for what they had to do, but you can tell that it's not actual video game footage. The way they move isn't quite the way video game characters would move. They're a bit too smooth. They're a bit too in between. They're a bit too tweened between pixels. So you can tell that it's not quite pure gameplay footage, but of all the movies this is nothing we haven't seen in movies before. There's plenty of movies that get it completely wrong. Like they'll have a person playing Metroid, and he'll die by getting captured by a Chozo. It's like, what? That never fucking happens. They'll have like Call of Duty with Donkey Kong sound effects. They don't care anything about getting it right. So if there's one praise for this movie, there's plenty of praises, but one praise is that they got video games right. I mean, he uses a lot of quotes and clips from his old reviews, but it's all original footage. It's all like recreated footage for the movie, and then video game footage on top of that is also recreated. So they recreated stuff from like Top Gun, World Track Meet. You can probably see it in the trailer where they're running on the gamepad, and that was a really great scene. That was a really funny scene. They meet this eccentric scientist in the desert who has all these cameras set up, and he's like, where'd she go? She's nowhere on the property. Well, maybe she's taking a shower. So, and they switch to a camera in the shower. Like, no, she's not in there. And, and you just happen to have this camera in the shower, and he never really mentions anything about it. But that was a great moment. So I absolutely love this movie. It was great. The Q&A afterward was lovely. Even my friend actually got his question answered. So and they were filming the whole thing. They had Steadicams going through the audience, so you might actually see me in the making of DVD. So you might actually see me at the coverage of the world premiere. Just watch for my watch for my green. Sorry, I don't come with an off button T-shirt. Unfortunately, we were waiting in the sun for like 2 hours before the movie started, because we got there about 4:30, and I'm so glad we did, because the line was around the block. By the time we got there, there was the theater, and then it was down to the block to the corner, and we were just before the corner. Yeah, we were just before the corner, and we were in the sun for so long. I hope I didn't get burned from that. I feel like I'm hot, but I was trying to stay in the shade, but thankfully, after a certain time, we were able to move forward, and we got to see James coming down the line, so I'll probably be putting some footage in here of that. So it was... And then the Q&A afterward was great. They had about about a dozen people there from the production. They had small people, large people. James was there, of course, and James and Kevin, Kevin and their producer. So Kyle Justin was there. They got questions answered. They did a lot of great work with the music, sound effect. They worked so hard on this, and the fact that it looks so good for being made for about $300,000, which is really respectable for an indie film. This movie looks so nice. It looks amazing for how cheap it was made, and it'll definitely make back its budget. So Cinemassacre is definitely going to be in the black for this. I really do highly suggest you see this movie if you can in theaters, and if you can't, if you have to wait till you get it on Blu-ray or DVD, watch it with friends and people who love the nerve, because this is just a spectacular movie. Everybody, take care.